I don't rap, but I enjoy
So that's
writing
the fun part
poetry.
about freestyling.
You know
Though, the
how
thing is,
nerdy this
you don't rap.
sounds? I actually am down and enjoy writing poetry.
Hmm.
So I would not be against writing some
No, freestyling.
tempo storm. Oh, fine. It would be. You have to call it tempo storm though. It's
How about
storm.
Tempo Side Storm? How about that?
It's tempo side storm. I'm down, guys. Guys, here though we are, guys. I'm talking to you. You know, tempo's not really there, but here we are
Wow.
on Orbital Shipyard. Top right-hand corner, it is the green Terran from Team Gravity, the one, the only EJK.
It's pretty epic, man. And his opponent spawning in the bottom left corner. He's purple from Team Ascension Pro. Dolan. Dolan. It is Dolan, everybody.
Dolan. I feel like last time I casted him, I specifically was like Dolan. And you feel like I feel like that's a country in Princess Diaries. Dolan. No, no one. Well, okay. I was watching,
I get it.
watching the intern. I was watching the
I was
intern a few days
first, I
ago,
was confused.
and I was like, "You don't look any different than when you did the Princess Diaries. Like, this is crazy."
Yeah.
But yeah, Dolan.
She looks the
You
same
know,
in every
Genovia.
movie.
Dolan,
You know
she
who she's
looks the
like?
same.
You know who Jonah Hill?
Yeah.
I feel like Jonah Hill, right? He's actually a twin, and his only goal in life is to like find himself in a movie and say, "Hey, bro, you've been playing yourself for the past like 16 movies," and he just, he hasn't found it yet.
Yeah, he hasn't quite found himself. That's good.
I love it though. I love this character though.
He's always good, yeah. EJK and Dolan, of course, are Terran, but they're opening up pretty different. You know, you got EJK with his mech style. He's always loved it, but you have Dolan with a 2 racks and now a 3 racks Reaper in total. Very heavy pressure, and you can defend this. There's been a lot of builds that have prioritized incredibly quick Hellions to defend this, and that is most likely what EJK will do because EJK also loves Hellion Cyclone, a unique style of quick mech. But I think overall he's going to have the tools and he's going to be very ready for this because generally this has been the stage of the meta. Reaper Fast Expand into 3 racks Reaper and then into Reaper Hellion to defend, defensive of course, and really overall both players, it's just a big circle, a whirlwind of players trying to counter each other and nullify, and that's pretty much where we're at right now in the meta game. Players generally just nullify each other's builds, early on at least, in TVT.
Sorry. No, I agree with you 100%, Drenok. You know, whether it be with the Reaper account to equalize, or rather to go for a Raven if you're expecting Banshee, or to go for a Cyclone as well, and eBay for the detection. But what we're seeing here is going to be triple racks Reaper out of Dolan, while EJK is trying to go right into Starport. No tech lab on the factory, so it does seem to be a medevac or a Liberator, and it will be a Liberator. But is it going to be enough time? You know, he doesn't have a lot of units at home.
I mean, he's got the 2 Hellions, though, and Hellions do a remarkable amount of damage when they're just given a couple seconds to start hailing down them flames onto the Reapers. But 4 Reapers can kill a supply depot. Now, that's the prime opportunity when you do tempt the Hellions and Reapers to come down the ramp to throw KD8 charges on the ramp. The ramp is small, and maybe you have a prime opportunity to blow them off of that. But for now, Dolan is not going to take that. He's going to fall back. He sees the Hellions, and I mean, you got to remember this 3x Reaper. Yes, he's kind of nullified any aggression out of EJK, but still, that's a heavy commitment, Tempo.
It's a very heavy commitment, and he's not going for the tech. He's only just now getting the factory, and he needs to get damage done right now. And he doesn't have any anti-air for that Liberator, so you will notice that he is getting that eBay, rather. But a Liberator is not gonna stand in front of a turret, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna find a way to get some of that damage done, and there's not going to be anything that Dolan can do at all. Oh my god, but the Reapers...
Oh, maybe the Widowmine. We'll see if the Widowmine can go off. This is going to be the prime opportunity.
He can throw the bombs on it. He needs to throw the bombs on the Widowmine.
Looks like he's just going to go the other time. Instead of going counterclockwise, he's going to go clockwise around into the mineral field, and he's just going to push. It's just going to be a big circle of the SCVs not being able to mine. Reapers are going rampant. We have a Banshee on the way with Cloak. 3 Reapers are alive for EJK, but he desperately needs just a couple more Hellions, and this amount of Reapers for a Dolan 12. I'm going to snap the tech.
Wow. They are doing so much
that one
damage
Widowmine is everything. That one Widowmine.
There
it goes off, and friendly fire.
Friendly
Dolan's just
fire.
going to smash on straight through this.
And that's over. I think EJK is screwed. Even though there is a Liberator on the other side, EJK, he doesn't need to mine, or rather Dolan does not need to mine from that main. He can go to the natural, he can chill out. As long as he doesn't lose his SCVs, he's going to be ahead here. But the Banshee comes out. Oh my goodness, I think that the Banshee might be the X factor here.
I completely agree, and you gotta remember you have the Liberator still doing work back at home. There's a number of missile turrets for Dolan to defend, and EJK, that's what's keeping him alive. But I love the really quick decision of Dolan just to not even mine these workers. He's not caring, he's got to micro his Reapers, but now that they're mining, as you said, the X factor is that Banshee, but EJK has to keep the Banshee at home for a little while. He's afraid of more Reapers. Now it's going to start moving out, and already Dolan is prepared with a multitude, or more so just 3 missile turrets. He's ready. And I think he's going to be airtight with this, but just take a look at the workers killed for a second. Dolan has killed 14. Yeah, that's good, but he kind of killed 14 for maybe, like, about 14 Reapers. He honestly didn't do a ton of damage. Like,
he lost 13 Reapers, you're right. Yeah.
The defense of EJK was good.
I think it was really good. And the fact that he does have that tech advantage means that he can come back in it, but it's a very weird situation here. Dolan, not... I'm trying to think exactly where we are at, right? Because the Banshee's trying to get damage done and it can do it, but the Cyclone is out and it will take out that Banshee as long as it does stay locked on. Oh my god. Dolan is looking like he will be able to take that out, and we are kind of equalized. 27 workers to 30, double command center to double command center, and surprisingly enough, they're equal on army supply too, so I don't know, man. That's pretty impressive here.
And the next thing we're now going to be looking at with that is, after that early game, of course, is the meta and what compositions are they going to be moving into. It looks like, for now, EJK is taking a quicker third base and doing it as much more standard mech. A couple Cyclones here and there to make sure drops don't get hairy, etc. for EJK. Much more defensive play. Currently, you can see even getting the Viking up, siege tanks in a nice position, and for Dolan on the other side, he's adding on 2 more racks. Stim is going to be done soon. He's got a Cyclone and Siege Tank. I think he's going for another attack, a timing attack this time. And EJK's got to be careful to identify that.
Yeah, I mean, this Liberator is going to get taken out for pretty much free. And I'm over here wondering, you know, like, what is EJK really going to be doing here? It is Orbital Shipyard, so you get that earlier third base that you can kind of hold really easily. The fact that he's going for Vikings makes me think that he's not going to be trying... Oh, wait, did he actually go for Vikings or no?
No, he's not.
No, he did, no.
He's going for double medevac, and Combat Shields was queuing up right as Stim was about the prime time for them to finish together. And honestly, on Orbital Shipyard, yes, the third is easy to secure, but there's a lot of room also to get into that third and just be a constant nuisance and push that third base back up and make it force it back itself. Make it force it back itself is the weirdest thing ever. Force it back into the main base, and it's something that you see generally a smaller siege tank, a Cyclone, and some Marines do in the earlier game on 2 bases. You often see this to take out a person's natural base, an opponent's natural base, and EJK barely doesn't spot this. He sees 1 Marine moving out, but for Dolan, that Marine could have easily been a scouting Marine. So now that Dolan moves out of the right-hand side, this is an attack that's much more normal to deny natural base, but he's going to do it for a third, and since no CC's there, he's going to be able to park and deny anything. Perfect for Dolan.
Dolan is going to siege up. There are no medevacs out here for EJK. Oh, he has 1. So he opted to go for the Raven here for that detection, but that means that he's not going to have the mobility for his siege tanks. You know, he only has 1 medevac here in order to at least try to do that. So he's going to need to have some gift-worthy micro here if he does want to at least not get contained out of his third base here. I don't know, man. It's going to be tough.
It's going to be a drop.
Yep.
Looks like Dolan is going to go for a very large drop. 3 siege tanks in total, and they are in the medevacs. They're going to speed boost into the right-hand side. EJK has nothing in his natural base. He does have a Cyclone and a Viking, but the Viking's the left-hand side. Cyclone is with the main army, and looks like, oh, there is 1 Viking there ready. There's the speed boost. Viking spots it. Hellions, everything's going to reposition, but will it be quick enough? And with the Marines coming out almost 1 by 1, the Hellions are giving a prime opportunity, but there from Dolan, that was from EJK, was a point defense drone, do a little bit of damage, and siege tanks down. These Hellions may just be able to clobber straight through this bio with the siege tank
they have blue flame. EJK going for the mech, which means that he will have the blue flame. Excuse me, but I don't think that drop was that effective, but it did at least disrupt the mining, but
killed
it
5-ish
kill that
workers,
much,
not too much, yeah.
He lost 2 medevacs full.
Oh man,
Three.
Dolan's not even gonna get out. Oh no, looks like EJK selected all army to defend that in the right-hand side, so there's not gonna be the Viking ready over there to push back Dolan's medevacs, but he will regroup, yet I guess he denied a third base for a while, but Dolan didn't take a third CC himself off the back of that, so...
No, he's making it
Where
now,
are
but
we,
it's not an
Tempo?
orbital yet. Yeah, Dolan does not have a third command center ready. He has it's turning into an orbital now, but EJK is already getting his base. He's going mech, and it is orbital shipyard. I keep on reiterating that fact because, like Dusk Towers, you can chill on 3 bases and you're relatively safe, but I don't even know. EJK looks like he wants to move out. And it's not even like it's any timing, you know, he's not getting +1. He might have blue flames.
That's what he had before. He had Stim and Combat Shields finish right as that happened for Dolan. And now EJK, yeah.
Like a timing. I feel like he's just like doing it because...
Much more, I think less of a timing, more of a opportunity. He sees, okay, great. You lost a lot. It's going to take you a little while to replenish your army. I'm going to waltz across the map, and I would like to point out a little bit earlier on, Tempo, you mentioned that EJK did not have medevacs to start moving those siege tanks, and even though Dolan did not know that, I would have liked to see a scan on top of EJK's army, and then he could have easily got a foothold, maybe even just a toehold, into the third base in that CC and deny it, because, you know, the siege tanks can't leapfrog forward for EJK, you know what I mean? And so he could have easily just sieged up some siege tanks.
Toe, right?
Yeah, it's hard. It's very hard to leapfrog without a pinky toe, but now that he's not able to do that, as you said, it didn't go too well, and Dolan's going to move out. At the same time, EJK will leapfrog with the big toe, not a pinky toe right here.
And he is green, which is the same color as a frog. Oh. So he is going to be going ahead, but a nice drop here to get that friendly fire on the siege tanks. But, I mean, that's 3 tanks that are going to be taken out, or at least 1 or 2.
Oh, man,
that's
interesting.
A good trade, yeah.
I thought Dolan was going to go for a surround onto EJK because with only one siege tank on the high ground, it wouldn't be too hard, but he's going to go for a full frontal.
Oh my god, full frontal, Kappa. Going to be going here inside of the third base, but there are 4 to 5 to 6 tanks already seized up, trying to get their damage done, and a lot of the bio has been eliminated. But with a nice drop, he might be able to get some good friendly fire or even take out the tanks there.
Oh, beautiful! Dropping the unsieged tanks right on top of those siege tanks.
Wow. EJK is getting massive amounts of damage done to the third, but he can't quite break into the production here of Dolan. And the big important part about TVT, yes, getting the production
There's literally just one missile turret. There's one missile turret that's denying the medevacs. Other than that, there's nothing in the main, while as Dolan was just denying EJK's production, as you said.
Yep. So important to do that in TVT or any kind of matchup that has Terran in it. You get to that production, you almost win the game, but I do not think that EJK is quite there yet. He is getting there, already sieging up, not rushing it, not pushing the issue. But as soon as he takes that next step forward, I don't know what Dolan is supposed to do, man. I think that Dolan might be in a bit of trouble here because he is doing some good damage. You know what? EJK doesn't have anything at home. He doesn't have anything.
Dolan is attempting to force a base trade right here, is trying to make it so EJK is thrown off kilter and said, oh, okay, I gotta go for it and make a mistake. But I don't know if EJK is going to do that. He's playing patiently. Dolan is trying to initiate this. He is doing a decent job at attempting to initiate it, but simply EJK has just more.
I think we're going into full base trade mode, boys.
Yeah.
The thing is that it's mech versus bio base trade. So I feel like the mobility of the
the Hellions,
medevacs and the bio.
Not fun.
Yeah, I think the Marauder medevac has a better chance, but he doesn't have a lot of them, and that's very important to note because he lost like all of his SCVs, man. I think Dolan might be in a little bit more trouble than EJK is, for sure.
Oh, this is the big pack of SCVs for EJK, and he's going to lose the majority of them going down, but still on the other side of the map, there's no extra CC for Dolan, or actually, technically there is one flying and one down, but if he doesn't fly those soon, EJK has a base in the top left-hand corner. SCVs are not being moved to them, but SCVs are being made, and EJK with his patient not moving SCVs. This is not going well. EJK is losing SCVs at this third CC. He needs to move stuff, man.
He needs to realize right now, he's trying to get a Viking right... Oh, he's getting a Banshee. Okay, he's gonna try to get it up, but it will go down. Drenok, this is so insane. You already see the production here. He's trying to get that out. And in the situation when you feel like it's gonna be a base trade, you almost want to get at least one Viking out so that you can force the non-draw. You know, if it
Yeah.
will ever come down to that.
Interesting move from Dolan because I feel like he could have crushed the army of EJK when it was at the third CC of Dolan's. Because remember how he dropped some Hellbats right on top of the siege tanks and there was only one high ground siege tank? Generally, what makes it hard to attack from the low ground is because of those high ground siege tanks. But there was only one with 3 on the low ground. So Dolan had a big surround that I thought maybe he was capable of, but he chose. He chose to go for a base trade and not get a surround or attack that army or do something like that. So he wanted to do this. However, I felt like he could have done something after killing those 2 siege tanks on the high ground and could have easily thrown EJK and loosened his foothold right there.
Well, apparently it's looking like it's working out for him.
Did it in a different place, but yeah, no, it's working out. But I feel like it could have worked out better in that situation. Yet maybe he didn't think he didn't think he could fight a direct mecha army. And EJK on the left hand side, he's building a CC. Dolan's like, you know, screw you, man. Left hand citadel, yeah, screw you.
Game, like,
that, wait, I just want to say that's screw you right there. The CC just hovering on top. It's just like what?
Yeah. Oh man. Well, if we were to look at it now, EJK does have that worker advantage. He does have the army advantage, and if he goes home and cleans up that bioforce of Dolan, he would win. But
GG, EJK takes the game.
What a game, man!
Good game. And that all started off from a build that looked good for EJK, but I might argue that, or pardon me, a build that looked good for Dolan, but I might argue that it honestly only evened it out. It didn't actually do that much damage, and both players kind of slapped each other and it didn't work, but Dolan slapped EJK twice. EJK honestly defended quite well both games, and then waltzed on over, and the more I think about it, just mentality-wise, you've been hit twice, you've been pushed back twice, you don't think you have as big as an army as EJK does, and you just decide I'm going to base trade it. I don't think I can engage directly. I'm going to base trade it. I think he could have, but that was what was in his head. And obviously, we saw both sides. He could only see one side, so he didn't know how big the army was. Didn't know what was at home, and just decided, you know what? This is going to work better. Let's do it. GG.
Yeah, and when it comes to bio versus mech, you usually try to never engage the mech army unless you catch them sieged or unsieged, right? But I think in Legacy of the Void, it's going to be a lot harder to catch mech unsieged because of the medevac. But
yeah,
mech tends to go for Vikings as opposed to the medevacs, so like it's kind of weird. If they go for medevacs, then they have the mobility, but they don't have that like dominant mech, like straight brute force power. But they have the mobility of bio, so it can get really weird. And that's kind of what we saw in the last game, right? Like it was hard to tell who was actually going to win, even though the supplies were quite different. That one force out of Dolan could have very well eliminated all of the bases of EJK because they're not planetaries.
Both players went that base trade. It was a strange and hard situation, but in the end, EJK was able to win it. This is a best of 3. He is 1-0. I'm going to check out our bracket really quickly. EJK versus Dolan. Dolan 2-0'd Volts. And the winner of this will either play Jon Snow or Slayer S's Boner. Or Bonner, whatever you want to say. Slayer's Boner. No, it's Slayer S. Boner. Boner. It's Slayer S. Boner. It's Slayer S. Boner.
Slayer S. Boner, actually.
Welcome to my humble commode. Abode or commode. Hi there, man. Central Protocol's game 2. Central Protocol. You know, with the nerfs, the Rex Reaper isn't not still as
It's still
bad.
pretty good.
It's good. I don't know how I just said that. It's still pretty good. That's what I meant to say. Isn't not as good.
Like the triple, quadruple, quintuple.
That's quad, man.
Negative.
That was a quad.
All right. Speaking of quads, I would say like that.
Oh, did they start a game without us? Oh, man, they did start that game.
No, Damon.
Wait, can we say leave? We can't say leave, so I'm just going to have to leave. I had to quit it. Man, Damon, so you guys can't hear Damon, but Damon is Filthy Rake, which means you're watching this on his channel, a.k.a. you should follow below.
You need to follow this channel. Like, if you're not following this channel, which I'm not right now, I'm going to actually show you a tutorial right now, okay, guys? So what I'm going to do right now is take my mouse. Yeah, okay. Think about you watching my screen right now, all right? My mouse is in the top left corner of, I would say, my window, and I am moving it down. There is a purple heart that I see, all right? I have a left mouse button, and I just clicked it. you should probably do the same thing because Filthy Rake, our boy Damon, doing this thing here, bringing y'all some great NA StarCraft. I think you
Wow.
probably should give him a little bit of some
It
love here by hitting that follow button.
would
That's
mean a
all.
lot. It would mean a lot to Filthy Rake. Please follow below, and if you can, try at Damon Knight on
Yeah,
Twitter. If you
like
want
his
to
rake
learn
is so
more,
filthy, and
something in chat.
if you follow, like one day he will be able to clean the rake, and he will change his name to Clean Rake. But he
Clean
just hasn't
Rake.
hit that follow count just yet. So the more follows he gets, the less filthy the rake will get. And we need you, or else the rake will be forever filthy.
We don't know if they've noticed that they've left our game or not, so we're just gonna hang about for a little while, guys. We're gonna cut to a very short ad break before the next series happens. This is this is the Filthy Weekly. I was about to say the wrong thing. I've cast so much stuff. This is the Filthy Weekly number 5. Every 4 weeklies. Last week was the first one. We have a global one, but for now it's simply the NA Cup. On the global ones, everything's doubled. $200. I think it's 125 first place. I can't do double math. No, sorry, pardon me. 140, 150 first. $150 first place. $50 second place. Otherwise, every normal week it's $100. 75 first place, 25 second. But guys, if you want to play and you're not from NA, wait for that 8th one. That's going to happen in 3 weeklies. But if you're from NA, please come out. Filthy Weekly NA Cup Weekly. Number 6 brackets are open if you want to sign up, etc. But that is Tempo. I am Drenok, and we will be back after this short ad break for some more StarCraft 2 action.